But I have a theory on like how to overcome that thing that I've been talking about, right?
Which thing?
Which is like getting focused on whether it's the fanhood, like who's the best fan?
Oh, okay.
Who's this?
Let's come on back to these
all
fans.
these. No, it's not that. Or like the comparison with Biden and Trump, or
that's right. Sorry,
news and the like information that's just coming at you left and right.
Mm-hmm.
We are focused on it's like the recency bias. It's just the new information that comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet there's been books and there's content that's created a few years ago, many years ago, centuries ago. Wouldn't we be better off focusing on that than just because something's new in your feed doesn't make it the most important thing to do? Like if you went through your workday and every call that came in became the most important thing to do, that's probably not the most effective way to work, right?
No,
we can agree on that. So why would it be the most effective way to gather your information, to read the new post, the new article that just came out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not effective. I mean, what you're essentially doing in that situation is you are surrendering your attention to everybody else's agenda. Like I'm reading whatever's being put into your feed.
Yeah.
Prior to Apple and some of these other services just pumping news at you based on what they think your interests are, there were some really good ones where you could go through and actually just select the publications and the topics the right way. Like, because Apple, I look at how they do it. You can select publications, select the topics, but what they present to you just isn't that good. Either there's nothing good going on, like on the fringes of some interesting places in technology or sports or wherever it might be, or they're just sending you stuff that is mainstream, which Apple tends to do, right? Spotify can find music or has access to music that Apple doesn't. So maybe it's just the way the platform's designed.
Yeah.
So that is one of the biggest problems I think that we have is too many people don't realize that they can take control of their newsfeed. They can really determine what it is they want coming in, not just because, I like this magazine, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It's having a better understanding of how that system works. And I'm not talking about how the technology works. I'm talking about how the incentive structure works with news media.
Yeah.
Is that it's incentivized to get your attention, create outrage, and hold your attention. All that.
Yeah.
So they're also incentivized by advertising dollars. So they're just putting stuff in front of you that they think you're going to want. And that's an unconscious, it's like comfort eating. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Your information diet, your comfort eating.
Yeah. You're snacking all day.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't even know that I want this, but why not? It's here.
It's very easy to consume.
No, because all you got to do is you can read the headline of the short little summary.
Yeah.
They always have in front of every article, here's what this article is about, which is also usually misleading.
Yeah.
Yeah. But honestly, I think you got two options there. You either become much more proactive and intentional about what comes in and when, or just turn it all off. The world keeps going. I mean, why do we as people need to know everything that's going on everywhere in the world? We don't need to know that.
You never did know that. Like,
no.
Because there's sad news, good news, whatever news. But it's like people are going through shit right now.
Yep.
You go read the feed and this just happened. And somehow, how are you supposed to process that when it's like, it could be a mile away, it could be thousands of miles away. And like, you can't take everybody's bad news on as yours.
No.
And that happens.
Yeah, because information, the way our brains work, information comes in so that we can take an action with that information. So when you're just hearing all these stories about terrible things going on around the world or even across the country, there's nothing for you to do except for talk about it, tweet about it,
be upset about it.
Yeah, so there's really no need for you to have all this information.
Yeah, and we've not evolved enough to be able to handle all that. I definitely think. I think it's just too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have.
Yeah, sorry.
But I'm really special.
Yeah.
That's why I teach other people how to be special, like me.
Yeah. It's interesting how you've evolved. Yeah, you have a beard with no hair. So it's like you haven't, but you have. It's like a contradictory of sorts.
Well, I'm just moving faster to the inevitable, which is you're seeing those pictures like gray aliens, with the big black eyes and no hair, and there's just these little tiny bodies, just massive brains. That's what I'm going for.
Okay.
Because I think that's what we're going to look like in about 1 million years.
Oh, 1 million.
Yeah, let's go with 100,000.
Okay.
Let's go with 50,000.
Yeah. Well, you could just pick 100,000 to 1 million.
That's a big.
It is.
That's a big range.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a big one though. It takes time to get over that. To pick up a book as an example. And we're not trying to be all noble here.
You're trying to get me to read. I got you, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Okay. So we put out these podcasts.
Yes, we do.
This new podcast drops.
So good.
Early next week. It's going to be the 11th one.
I know.
But it's new. Are we telling people to listen to the 11th one? It's too new. It's too recent.
Why would we tell people that?
I don't know. Because I'm trying to think it's in the feed. It's in the feed. So I'm just trying to compare the differences between what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or you just only talking about the news, because it doesn't have to be a media source. It could be this individual who's explaining something that they just saw right now.
Right.
Fight at a football game.
In all seriousness, I've cut 95% of all that stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I rarely.
It's good. How'd you do it?
I just turned it off. So it was the Apple News for a while.
Ugh,
it was garbage.
Toxic.
Really is. Well, and then, especially during COVID, they were pumping all kinds of stuff, putting things in front of you that I was like, look, I didn't subscribe to this.
Yeah. I mean, here's some news, right? Okay. It's right over. Just scroll right to the right.
Go for it,
I don't know
man.
what date it is today. It says September 23rd. Shows me right at the top. Dow Jones down 541 points. I mean, stock market's tumbling.
We better go sell.
Here we go. First headline from top stories from Apple News. Dow tumbles more than 500 points. Heads for new 2022 closing low as recession fears increase. Mm-hmm. So that's good. That's a good way to start your Friday.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, just keep credit markets, see less risk, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
I'm sure there was something
Let's
earlier
check
about
our 401ks.
Long COVID. There's a story about that.
What does it say?
No, it's not good. Oh, here's a good news. They lost their babies, then faced bills in the millions.
What?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kaiser Health News. So that's fun. Okay. Oh, here it is. A key to long COVID is virus lingering in the body, scientists say. This is the news feed that you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is some bad shit. There's nothing good in here.
Yeah.
There's a picture of a woman who's totally stressed out on productivity, right? That's how they're selling you.
This is great.
The new midlife crisis. It's in your early 50s.
Yeah, because this is the kind of shit that gets you to click so that you can drive ad revenue.
For sure. Oh, and then here's an ad to get more of these wonderful stories.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and here's a guy freaking out on the New York Stock Exchange. He's about to have a heart attack. That's not good.
Here's one from Vice News, which I like Vice News.
Okay.
A teacher who joined OnlyFans to support her family was fired.
She's just trying to be an entrepreneur.
She's trying to make some money, man.
Yeah.
There it is right there.
Oh, that's her?
That's her. I mean, you can only see half
her students were probably like, how did they get so lucky?
Yeah, geez. What are you teaching here?
Yeah.
Right?
The party is over. How Meta and Google are using recession fears to clean house.
Yeah. What do they mean by clean house? They're firing people, right?
I haven't read the article. I'm a headline reader. No, you're the headline reader. Sorry.
No. I'll skim the article. I'm just really good at that because I'm involved. Yeah. No, what they're doing is, I think a lot of things that are just showing up is that they got tons and tons of cheap money during COVID.
Yeah.
And then they got tons of money because everybody had to rely on their services.
Yeah.
And they didn't invest it right.
Yeah.
They just kind of dicked around and spent money on stuff that had no real outcomes. And now they're like,
it's just like, we don't want these people anymore. How do we fire them? Like, we had to hire people during this time to show that we're still part of the whole economy and helping people out. And they're like, these people suck.
You think that's
they all want to work from home? I don't want them to work from home. Just want to fire everybody.
It's a business decision because they realized we've been wasting money.
Content Matterz with a Z is our content marketing company that helps entrepreneurs tell their own stories to those who care. And here's the thing. We think every entrepreneur that is willing should have their own content platform. And we want to help make that happen, both by working directly with entrepreneurs and by sharing our own stories, exploring the craft of content marketing. Content Matterz, one piece of content at a time. Learn more at KazContent.com.